Hello all and welcome back to Buy This Not That, and today we have a Super Strat showdown between two heavy hitters in the metal shred guitar world. But only one of these guitars can come out victorious, but you need to stick around to the end for some holiday savings and some money off some of the favorite gear that I use. Alright, this is the axe, let's go! Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Nick. Today we're pitting a couple Super Strat guitars against each other to see which one gives you more metal for your money. These two axes are pretty similar on what they have to offer and come with some damn good stock features. We're talking about the Ibanez 5120M Prestige versus the all-new Jackson American Series Virtuoso. These two bad boys come in at around $2K and are a shredder's wet dream. Per usual, we take a look at a few crucial things to include construction, hardware, electronics, tremolo, and the overall appearance of the guitars. Alright, so let's start with construction, my dudes. Both of these guitars are bolt-on neck design, have a 25.5 scale, and are an HH pickup configuration. The Ibanez comes stock with mahogany, but if you get the frozen ocean finish, you get that ash wood grain top. Classic to the Ibanez design, you get that Super Wizard 5-piece maple wenge neck with a bird's eye maple fretboard that's just... Let's not forget, this guitar comes stock with those lumen lay side dots, which is a nice touch. Something I like about this RG, if you flip it around, is the contoured heel. Ibanez has made some RGs in the past, like the Genesis model, which has kind of like a blocky, kind of standard Fender Strat kind of heel, but this one's contoured to allow really good access to the higher frets. It also sports 24 stainless steel frets on a 17-inch radius fretboard, which really was built for the shredder in mind. The classic Ibanez headstock is not a scarf joint, meaning that 5-piece neck runs continuous all the way from the heel to the end of the headstock. Speaking of headstock, this is where the truss rod adjustment's located. This is just typical and classic of Ibanez. I'm a big fan of the truss rod at the heel, but I don't really see Ibanez do that too often. So something I like to point out is where these guitars are made. And so this guitar is made in Japan. It's an Ibanez Prestige, so it gets made in Japan and is QC'd in Japan. I know that can be a discriminator for some of you, so there you go. Now the Jackson American Series Virtuoso guitar is really like a big deal in metal right now. As Jackson did with their American Soloist series, they're really pushing a hard ad campaign and enlisting help from Dave Davidson and Misha Mansour and a lot of other great players. Now this guitar rocks an alder body, a 5-piece multi-laminated caramelized maple and regular maple neck. Now the American Series rocks an ebony fretboard with rolled edges and 24 jumbo frets, which is pretty characteristic of Jackson. Similar to the Ibanez, this Jackson also has those lumen lay side dots. Now Jackson really shines here because they have a really nice contoured heel on the back, and they've also cut away some material from like the back of the guitar to really give your hand some space and allow you to reach those high notes. It really is some impressive fret reach for a bolt-on guitar. The Virtuoso rocks a 12 to 16-inch compound radius, which is something that Jackson does pretty frequently and allows you to get that rounded kind of feel at the lower frets and then a really flat shred-worthy fretboard on the higher frets. Lastly, Jackson actually has the truss rod adjustment at the heel. Oh, and this guitar, as the name suggests, is made in America, which is kind of cool because Jackson's pumping this guitar out of its Corona, California factory. Guys, I have to say that this is probably a draw in this category. They have different features, but they're also great. All right, moving on to hardware. All right, starting at the top, Ibanez is rocking their usual Gotoh machine heads up top, and that's in a Cosmo black color. Matching those machine heads at the top is the Ibanez Edge locking nut, same color. Now the Ibanez comes stock with pickups that are direct mounted to the body, getting rid of those ugly ass pickup rings. Yeah, I said it. Lastly, this bad boy has two dome-style Cosmo black volume and tone knobs and a 5-blade selector switch. Oh, and did I mention the Ibanez comes with a hard shell case, which, no shit, guitars of this value should really come with these cases. I'm tired of paying thousands of dollars and getting a, gig bag. Now the Jackson rocks some similar features, but up at the top they have Gotoh MGT locking tuners, which is a nice little step up. This guitar has a locking nut at the top as well in black, matching all the hardware, but it does have those awesome stainless steel screws. And then also this guitar, the Jackson, has direct mounted pickups, which also gets rid of that pickup ring. And then rounding this guitar out are black dome style knobs, 2 of them, and a 5-blade selector switch. Now something I actually like to bring up in my videos are where the volume and tone knobs are in related to your playing hand. When the volume knob is too close to your picking hand or really too close to the bridge, your hand can tend to turn down the guitar accidentally, which happens to me all the time. So I like to focus on this. Both of these guitars unfortunately have a knob that's relatively close. It's not in the worst position that I've seen, but since they're kind of in the same position, really no discrimination there. Jackson may win this category on the account that it has those actual locking MGT Gotoh tuners. All right, let's take a look at electronics because this is where things get interesting. Both of these guitars rock some awesome stock pickups that have grown to become huge metal staples in the shred world. The Ibanez comes stock with Fishman Fluence modern ceramic humbuckers in both the bridge and the neck. And I really gotta tell you, these pickups are jam-packed with some really kick-ass features. For starters, these are active pickups requiring a 9-volt battery. You can see the cavity on the back. And it also comes with a two-way voicing switch that's located in between the volume and tone knobs. This allows you to get an array of different tones, anywhere from like a single coil Texas twang to a full-bodied humbucker shred. Now keep in mind, on the Ibanez, the Fishman pickups are driven by a 9-volt battery, which we talked about before. So when you're done playing with this guitar, make sure you unplug it, because if you keep it plugged, it'll drain the actual 9-volt battery. Now moving on to the Jackson, this guitar comes with a passive set that has really been a metal staple for some time. It rocks the JBTB4 and the 59 SH1N Seymour Duncan combination. This is one of the most balanced sets on the market, and I really like the native versatility that these pickups come with, because you can really honestly play any array of music on these pickups. Now, dialing in your tone for the pickups on the Jackson is really going to depend on your signal chain, whereas the Fishman Fluence in the Ibanez gives you a little bit more play native to the actual pickups with the voicing switch. Now getting back to the Jackson's pickups, you'll find that a lot of seasoned metal players eventually settle in their career on like a JB type pickup because of its versatility and what they can do with it within their signal chain. Now if you consider everything these guitars have to offer in regards to their electronics, it kind of depends on what you like, so this is really a draw because one offers one thing and another offers a whole different thing. Now moving on to tremolos, which you all know is my personal favorite. Now the Ibanez comes stock with the renowned Edge Low Pro bridge. These are phenomenal bridges like the original Edge that's made by Gotoh for Ibanez. Slightly different than regular tremolos and like an original Floyd Rose, these trems sit really flush to the body, hence the Low Pro name, and the saddle screws are shortened and they're really just like you can get to them right to the saddle. Typical of Edge trems, this one has a pop-in tremolo design, which is a really nice touch. It's argued that Ibanez Edge and like this Low Pro Edge are some of the best tremolos on the market, and I mean, there's something has to be said about like Steve Vai and Joe Satriani using these tremolos their whole career. I mean, that says something. Now moving on to the Jackson Virtuoso, this comes with a Floyd Rose 1500 tremolo stock. This trem is really aesthetically pleasing as the saddle screws and the screws up top in the locking nut are stainless steel. It really gives it that like hot rod look. The 1500 is the same design and dimensions of the original Floyd Rose, it's just made in Korea. It's reported that the 1500 uses the same materials as the original Floyd Rose, like hardened steel and all that. So I mean, if that's true and the QC is as good as Germany, you're really getting a good trem for the money. Now, like the Ibanez Edge Low Pro, the 1500 does come in with a pop-in tremolo arm, which is another great feature. Now, keep in mind the Floyd Rose 1500 is just available from guitar manufacturers. It's almost impossible to get it aftermarket. Historically, we saw a lot of these 1500 trems on guitars like Schecter's, Sun Valley Super Shredders, but now we're starting to see them more in the actual Jackson arsenal. Okay, and lastly, let's check out the overall appearance of these bad boys because, as you know, the key to playing good is looking good. Both of these guitars rock that super strat body, which has really been made famous by both Ibanez and Jackson. Now, as we said earlier, these guitars both have those direct mounted pickups without the pickup rings, which really gives that professional, sleek, kind of upgraded look. Now, the RG5120 and Prestige has those really sharp horns that are really characteristic of Ibanez and the RG that they started making back in '87. Now, this Ibanez actually comes in some really cool finishes to include Polar Lights and Frozen Ocean. I'm sure you probably saw some of these finishes on like the headlines or the new catalog for Ibanez. The Polar Lights finish is actually pretty cool because it kind of changes colors and filters through as you like move and look at the guitar differently from different angles. Also, if you're a maple neck guy, this Bird's Eye Maple is picture perfect, especially with the white binding around the neck and the offset fret markers. Now lastly, this guitar looks phenomenal with the Cosmo Black, really a color out there that a lot of manufacturers don't use. And then also the silver covers to the Fishman pickups just looks phenomenal. Now onto the Jackson Virtuosos, which really has a more subdued, unassuming look, but let's not count them out. The Jackson American Series Virtuosos actually edge out the Ibanez on the amount of finishes that you can get it in. Here you can get Satin Shell Pink, Specific Ocean, Satin Black, and Mystic Blue, which are all pretty cool colors. I gotta say that Specific Ocean, kind of that seafoam color, is really what I dig. The black hardware on these bad boys really contrasts well with the lighter finishes, but what really steals the show is the trim and the stainless steel screws. Those screws really give it that hot rod look and pop on any finish of this guitar. Also, the Jackson Virtuoso has a black binding on the headstock, which is a really cool and really nice touch. All right, so as always, we have a tough decision here to find out which one of these guitars gives you more metal for your money. This one was pretty hard because these guitars are pretty similar, but also come with different features that are all just so great. But unfortunately, there can only be one. What else is new? I'm gonna go with the Ibanez on this one, but stick around, let me tell you why. First off, the RG comes with Fishman Fluence active pickups, which gives you that versatility native to the guitar without even factoring in the signal chain. Also, you can't deny the Edge Low Pro bridge this thing comes with based off its utility, its durability, and its functionality. It's just supreme. But what really swayed me in the end is the Ibanez has that mahogany body rather than the alder body that the Jackson comes with. A mahogany body is going to give you a lot more deeper, fuller, darker tones, which you really need in a metal guitar that you're going to shred with. Believe me, the Jackson was super close on the account that it had the MGT locking Gotoh tuners and the heel truss rod adjustment. That's huge. I'm also a fan of passive pickups, so this was hard for me. All right guys, that was my 2 cents. Let me know what you think. If you have either one of these guitars or both, or you just want to talk, let us know in the comments. All right guys, so some savings on some gear that you'll love. The Axis started a free newsletter that comes out monthly, jam-packed with a bunch of gear savings and coupon codes, but also will feature artists monthly. I'll put the link to sign up in the description, completely free, and the only result is that you'll save some money. If you haven't already, consider subscribing below so you don't miss any content like this. Otherwise, I'll catch you later.